With WrestleMania right around the corner, in this video, we're going to be talking about the superstars with the most wins in WrestleMania history. What's going on, guys? It's your buddy, it's your pal, it's Andrew here from What's Good in Wrestling. How are you guys doing today? I'm excited to get this video going. If you're new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the roster. I'd love to have you guys here. We're getting very close to WrestleMania. I can't wait. April 6th and 7th, we're here for WrestleMania. Today we're going to be talking again about the superstars with the most wins at WrestleMania. Thank you guys for the recent success on my last video predicting the next set of champions in the WWE. I really appreciate it. Stick around, a lot more content is coming, but let's get right into this video starting at number 10. At number 10 is Rey Mysterio, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He has 8 wins at WrestleMania. I believe he's 8-6. He is literally the biggest underdog in professional wrestling. It's been said many times. Rey Mysterio broke barriers. He's kicked down doors and proven that luchadors can be some of the best wrestlers in WWE history. Like, think about what this means. At WrestleMania, a guy that was not the biggest guy, not a Vince type of guy for when Vince was in the company, going in and winning some of the biggest matches in WrestleMania history. And I can, obviously WrestleMania 22, when he wins the triple threat match and becomes World Heavyweight Champion against Kurt Angle and Randy Orton, doing it for Eddie Guerrero after winning the Royal Rumble, and at the time having the longest run in the Rumble at, what was it, like 62 minutes? Like, absolutely insane. Rey Mysterio is a legend, one of the greatest of all time, a WWE Hall of Famer, my personal favorite of all time. I love the guy. I thank him so much for getting me into wrestling when I was younger, and that's why he's on this list. Literally, he's got some of the most wins in WrestleMania history, one of the most popular stars in the history of the company. At number 9 here, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the guy who will be main eventing 2 nights of WrestleMania again this year. Roman is on this list with 8 wins as well. Now, I guess they have him at number 9 because he's done it in a shorter amount of time, less WrestleMania matches. He's been able to win more matches, and of course, he's been put in the spotlight for years now. He's been champion for years, so he's just gonna keep winning. And who knows, maybe this year at WrestleMania 40 he wins both nights at WrestleMania, retains that championship, and keeps going, trying to beat Hulk Hogan's record for 3rd place. And I know we got to talk about that, because why are we just looking at just Hulk Hogan? If he wants to break the record, he's gonna have to go way longer than that. But of course, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Cody Rhodes, so I hope that for now Roman Reigns sticks at 8 wins. But I love Roman Reigns. He's the tribal chief. He's already one of the best of all time. And if you say no, you're kidding yourself. That's why Roman is on this list. At number 8, the man with the 3rd most matches at WrestleMania in history, Randy Orton, Mr. RKO. And you know what? Randy actually has more losses at WrestleMania than he does wins. He's 8-10, 8 wins and 10 losses. But still, we're talking about, again, one of the greatest of all time. In some of those losses, he was putting over superstars, so it doesn't really matter. But at the same time, a guy like Randy winning at WrestleMania makes a lot of sense. In his prime, and of course, in that like 2007 to like 2013-14 type of run, I would say Randy was winning a lot of matches. He was main eventing. He was doing a lot at WrestleMania, so it makes sense for him to be on this list. We're talking about one of the best runs in the history of the business. Championships, didn't matter if it was mid-card titles, usually was main event titles like the world title or the WWE Championship. Randy was always involved in a big spot, and that's why he's a part of the most wins in WrestleMania history. This one kind of surprised me a little bit at number 7, and that's Kane with 8 wins as well. He's actually had 17 matches at WrestleMania, but you gotta think, he was involved with The Undertaker a lot of times. He was involved in main events a lot of time, not necessarily the main event of WrestleMania, because that's not what I'm saying, but Kane was always in and around the main event picture for at least a decade. Like, we're talking about a really good heel run. He was believable, he was big, he was scary. So it usually had him involved in angles leading up to WrestleMania. So again, with that little bit of time that he spent, wrestling in big main events and world title matches, He also had a lot of really good mid-card feuds. He's had some crazy memorable stuff at WrestleMania as well, like beating Chavo Guerrero in like 8 seconds for the ECW championship. So he's done some really cool stuff. Of course, he's also faced The Undertaker, his brother, at WrestleMania. I don't know why I did this. They're definitely brothers, right? Like, they're brothers. But yeah, Kane on this list at number 7, 8 wins as well. I don't know why they've put some of these guys higher or lower with the amount of wins, because you're going to see in a second here that there's some more guys with 8 wins. Because next up at number 6 is Bill Goldberg's best friend, Bret the Hitman Hart. That's totally a joke, but Bret Hart, I've actually met the guy. I actually do like Bret Hart. I'm Canadian, he's Canadian, so of course I gotta show some love to the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, Bret Hart. He had 8 wins as well, 14 WrestleManias, and a lot of them were classics. Like, we're talking about him versus Owen. We're talking about him basically putting on bangers every single time he was in the ring. And you know, I was born in 1996, but you go back and you watch a lot of these events even before I was born, and Bret Hart was always putting on classics. He was a ring general. The guy knows what to do, you know, submission specialist. He could tell stories in the ring, and that was a big thing back in the day. Now they're starting to get back into it with storytelling and having really good professional wrestling matches, but Bret Hart could tell a story. He could go in there and put on a good match. And that's why he kept winning at WrestleMania. This guy was one of the faces and one of the best baby faces in the history of WWE. So Bret Hart being on this list, no surprise. And the next guy isn't a surprise either. The immortal Hulk Hogan, of course he's on this list. 8 wins for the Hulk. I thought that he would probably have more wins, to be honest with you, the way that WWE had him at the top for so long and just constantly winning and, you know, low-key squashing some guys. I believe he had 12 matches at WrestleMania, so basically he had a pretty decent record. I mean, he had a couple ties in there as well. I believe he had like 8 or 9 wins. Hulk is one of the most immortal, no pun intended, superstars of all time. This is a guy that had that title strapped around his waist. He had the crowd going crazy for him for so long. He's had so many memorable moments. How about the Toronto crowd taking his side against Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson when he was supposed to be the bad guy in the situation? He's had moments all over his career. He's been a part of some of the craziest moments in WrestleMania history. We're not even going to talk about, you know, the body slams and the leg drops and everything like that. We're just going to talk about how the fact that this guy just sold the crap out of merch just by having that strap around his waist at the biggest event of all time at WrestleMania. Hulk Hogan, he's got to be on this list. Number 4 has the rated R superstar. It has the current AEW TNT champion at the time I'm recording this. It is Edge, aka Adam Copeland, but obviously it's WrestleMania, so he goes by Edge. Edge was a part of 14 WrestleManias and he has 9 wins at those events. Guys, Edge has one of the best runs in WWE history, and I still say it at this time and again. I know I'm Canadian, I'm a little bit biased. If Edge never got injured, okay, and I know that's a big if, Edge missed out on a long time, right? Imagine all those years with Edge moments in WrestleMania history, titles, everything like that. Edge would be one of the top 5 WWE superstars of all time, and I still stand by that. He missed a lot of time, and he missed out on a lot of potential opportunities in the WWE, in the Fed, as some people on Twitter or X would like to call it. Think about some of the memorable moments that Edge has had, and man, imagine if he beat The Undertaker, because at one point, The Undertaker was thinking about allowing Edge to beat him at WrestleMania. Imagine what that would have done for his career and the trajectory of the streak at WrestleMania. But Edge has had some really, really memorable opponents. Of course, you're looking at somebody like The Undertaker. You're looking at all the feuds that he's had and the reason why he constantly gets to be at WrestleMania. I mean, even against Mick Foley, right? Edge has had some of the coolest moments. I mean, recently being in that triple threat match against Roman and Daniel Bryan, which was, it's crazy because that's still a part of Roman's current run at the top. But Edge has faced everybody under the sun. He's had some of the craziest moments. He's had some of the best matches in WrestleMania history. And when you're constantly in, again, like I said, for some guys on this list, when you're constantly in the main event picture, you're going to have big feuds. You're going to have big matches going in to the showcase of the Immortals. So Edge always being a part of that main event scene definitely has him on this list. At number 3, this is no surprise. He has the second most matches in the history of WrestleMania with 23, and that's the King of Kings, Triple H, the cerebral assassin. 10 wins at WrestleMania, only 10, and that's the thing. Like, he's wrestled 23 matches at WrestleMania and he's only won 10, right? I mean, he's had some moments where I didn't want him to win, like against Sting. Like, come on, that shouldn't happen. Listen, Triple H is one of the most legendary stars of all time. Okay, we're talking about one of the best WWE stars of all time, one of the best wrestlers of all time. Triple H has had memorable moments and matches against The Undertaker, against John Cena. The list goes on and on. Some of the best superstars of all time, which you're going to be hearing from those two names in a second. But we're talking about some of the most captivating storylines ever involved Triple H. What about Batista, right? Batista. Triple H and Batista having a couple classics at WrestleMania as well, having some of the best storyline builds in WrestleMania history. Triple H has been a part of some really good stories, and this is why he's had this many opportunities at WrestleMania. And I know people always go back to the fact that, oh, he's part of the McMahon family. It's not that, okay? Triple H is the King of Kings. He's one of the greatest of all time. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and there's a reason why he's competed at 23 WrestleManias. He's that good. At number 2, big match John, baby. John Cena, 10 wins at WrestleMania in 16 WrestleMania matches. What more do you have to say about the quote-unquote greatest of all time? John Cena is a part of WrestleMania history in terms of being on the card, being a part of the event, winning matches, losing matches, but also building it into what it is today. And he carried the company for a long time. We're talking about some of the darkest days in the WWE. John Cena was still selling merch, putting asses in seats, making sure everybody was still going home happy. And John is literally one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time, because of that. I love John Cena. I'll always love John Cena. I've got one of his figures back there. It's at the very back. You can't see it, but funny, no pun intended. There's not much you could say about a guy like John Cena other than the fact that him being number 2 on this list and having 10 wins at WrestleMania, it just makes sense. John, you're one of the greatest of all time. You'll never see this video, but I just want to say I love you, man. You're one of the greatest of all time. Thank you for all of the amazing WrestleMania memories, and hopefully you've got at least one more in you. This should come as no surprise. At number 1, the dead man, The Undertaker, who a lot of people would say is the greatest of all time, which I won't really argue that. I won't. 27 matches at WrestleMania, and he has 25 wins. The streak, baby. And technically, you know, if we're removing a certain, you know, mayor of Suplex City from WWE history, he only has 26 matches, and he, you know, technically still has 25 wins. So, like, he would have 25 wins in 26 matches, technically. I don't know. Are we doing that? Are we saying that now? If we're saying that, technically Roman broke the streak, right? None of that crap. We're not going to talk about that right now. What do you even say about Undertaker and WrestleMania? How do you even explain it to somebody that's just coming in to the WWE, somebody that's just getting, you know, used to being a fan of the WWE? Like, this is one of the greatest of all time. This is one of the most amazing streaks in the history of sports. And I know people, oh, it's not a sport. Buddy, you don't want to see me flip off the camera right now. Undertaker did something that a lot of people can't do, and that's stay relevant for decades at a time and make people excited to see his match every year, because there was a lot of years where I genuinely, growing up, was nervous, shaking, thinking about Undertaker potentially losing, because he's had some amazing opponents. Like, we're talking anybody from the last 10 to 15 years that's been a huge main event star has faced the Undertaker in basically the main event of WrestleMania, and you thought, damn, this is really gonna be it. Like those matches against Shawn Michaels, like if you like, I just got chills. We're gonna do the Rock hit the arm with the chills. We're talking about, oh my god, I can't get these chills off. Maybe that's why Rock does this. This is crazy. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, the list goes on and on. The most iconic guys, some of them who are on this list right now, The Undertaker has beaten all of them at WrestleMania. And, you know, I know he's lost, and I really wish that he never lost that streak, but The Undertaker did something, like I said, that not a lot of people can do, and I'll always love and respect him for that. So this video actually went a lot longer than I expected it to, but those are the top 10 wrestlers with the most wins at WrestleMania as we get more excited for WrestleMania 40. If you're new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Stick around to What's Good in Wrestling. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Andrew. I'll see you guys in the next one.